I believe that every company has their own Goldilocks zone. So, this perfect balance of ecosystem that works for them in innovation. It's not the same for one company and another, but each company has some really incredible skills that you can build on. The important thing is that to understand which are the skills that then need to kind of come up to the median in order for everything to work. And that's probably the most difficult part, because we always talk about ecosystems in innovation, but there's a very good reason for that, is that many things need to go right for life to be created. It can't be too hot or too cold. You have to have enough water. You have to have this, you have to have that. In industry, there are some very strange things that happen. So, for example, if you don't have any money for innovation, you can't innovate. If you have too much money and you're too comfortable, you don't have the incentive to think outside the box, and you don't innovate. Same
So
with
you
processes.
need the constraint, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the processes as well, if there are no processes and anything is possible, you end up herding cats, right? Any project is investable. And so you're never building a critical mass. But if your processes are so difficult to work with that slow you down, you also can't innovate. So I think there are about 20 or so things that you need to balance. That balance is not the same. It's not a cookie cutter approach from one company to another or one industry to another. But also what's wonderful of going from one industry to different ones is that you can bring best practices from A to B. For example, in pharma, I was talking about risk before, with less than 10% of things working. In pharma, people are used to 1% of things working.
Right.
And it's a completely different culture and a completely different environment. But you can pick some things up from that are then useful somewhere else. So in pharma, instead of looking at the outcome, you look at the phase trials, and that approach of phasing things and then moving on is how you create more trust. So that you can take from A to B and use it, with different parameters. There are also companies that have large R&D departments that have relied on their own knowledge and IP, and that struggle to work with external partners. So maybe that's the intervention, open up, work with startups, with universities, and others who don't really want to invest internally, but are quite happy to work with open innovation. So you need to construct something that works with their strategy and the needs of the industry, but balancing out, a lot of these things. So processes, finance, skills, number of projects that you can handle at any one time. Those are different by company and by industry.